I'm still in kind of a rambling mood. So, by the way, yesterday I talked to my buddy Bill Magdalene in Minnesota. He's been watching all these videos, and he goes, "Hey, he goes, these are hilarious, um, but maybe you should try to get a pair of different glasses." But it's kind of funny because Mikey's advisee, one of his very early advisees, who runs the grad program in economics at Columbia, Martina Uribe. I really like the guy, and I go to his, I've been to his class a couple times. I mean, I've sat through his whole course a couple times in macroeconomics, and then he's got the same problem I do with his classes. They kind of tilt. And then he's got this other quirk that's very endearing where so he'll be giving a lecture to like 86 kids, and his kids and one of his kids will call him on his cell phone. If his kid calls him on his cell phone, he picks up. Like the phone rings and he picks up, and like he just pauses the lecture for like 45 seconds to talk to his kid. I've never seen that before. It's just incredible. Yeah, the crew Mikey brought into Columbia is just stellar. I mean, so by the way, I don't know. This is going to be another one of these rambling things. But the thing about Mikey, the people don't understand how genius this guy is. Like, I think even the people, even like his earliest PhD advisees from U Chicago, who are now like, super big shots, they don't understand. I mean, they sort of understand how genius he is, but I don't think they have I don't know if they have a visceral understanding of how genius Mike is. So I'll give you I guess I'll give you, I don't know. This is my take on Mikey's genius, and it doesn't involve math or any of this crap. So say you have like a 4 sigma outlier genius. Okay, there's like a lot of stuff in economics that's sort of naturally interesting. Like, the topic of inequality. I don't know, some other topics, I guess. What other topics? Inequality, which I don't even think that's that interesting, but that's kind of an interesting topic. Or let's say externalities. Like, let's say you could think of a way to balance the efficiencies Amazon introduced into our world versus the negative externalities of like putting every bookstore in the country out of business. Like negative versus positive externalities is interesting. Actually, one time, I don't want to denigrate this one guy at Columbia, but because I'll get in trouble. But I have a story about that. But anyway, so like the 4 sigma outlier genius can take this like sort of naturally interesting material and make it just sing. Like he can give the most exhilarating classes on this stuff and really make it engaging. Okay, so that's what the like 4 sigma guy does. But what does the 9 sigma guy do? Like, what is like that would be like Mikey could do that. I mean, easily. But that's boring for Mikey. So what Mikey does is, what Mikey does is he takes stuff that is just out of like that each component on its own is like just the most mundane, boring crap. Like we're talking about, experiments they did where guys try to distinguish whether they can distinguish weights holding them up in their arms and all this like just ridiculously boring stuff like lights, monkeys with fucking electrodes in their head, trained to look at moving lights, and just all this stuff that's just out of nowhere. And he puts it together in a that's just, I mean, it's like watching the creation of the Sistine Chapel or something. Like, just made out of these just goofy components, you know? So that's like Mikey. That's my take on why Mikey is like that's like the difference between like the 9 Sigma outlier genius like Mikey and the 4 Sigma guys who I won't name them. And they're boring. And the 4 Sigma guys are boring as fuck. But anyway, I guess, so this was supposed to be about this, this was about the 4th component, the global retirement account. And I was trying to remember how I came up with this global retirement account idea. And then I realized it was from the Lootable not-for-profit idea. So I guess I'm going to end this video talking about the Lootable not-for-profit, which is, so like Derman gave me this crap, like, why would these guys give you? So I was like, okay, say you had 30 years of productive life left. And you have, so the Lootable not-for-profit idea takes advantage of the fact that all these like super rich guys secretly fucking hate each other. So you approach one of the guys and you go, look, this is my plan. He'd have to trust you. So you give me, $15 million to start this not-for-profit. You endow this not-for-profit for me for $15 million. And I'll run it as a legitimate not-for-profit for the next 30 years. And on the returns from the endowment. But then as a side activity, we're trying to raise money. So you'll help me. You'll use your circle of rich guy friends who you secretly fucking hate. And we'll raise money for the not-for-profit. So like say, so these rich guys are the, okay, because, for these rich guys, they don't really give a fuck about any of these social issues at all. All they care about is like being at these, get-togethers where they get to look like big shots. It's self-aggrandizing, like in that movie Billions, where the guy gives like $1 million and he makes his stooge COO give $1 million too, or that's all they care about. It. That's the only reason they do this philanthropy is because it's for the self-aggrandizement. And so you'll help me and we'll ramp up this not-for-profit. Like, so maybe over 30 years we can get it to like $30, $40 million endowment, okay? And we'll structure it in a certain way, and so, I'm 80 years old. I go to the doctor. He goes, oh, I'm sorry, you only got 4 weeks to live. And we'll have all this set up in advance. So so now you originally gave me $15 million, and you got a tax write-off for that. Now we've ramped it up to say $45 million, the endowment. So I got 3 weeks to live. So I'll push the button and loot the not-for-profit. I'll loot the not-for-profit completely and translate all the funds into like a bag of diamonds and give them to you. And then so basically all these guys you hate, when they were given money, you knew the whole time these guys were giving you the money, it was going to end up as a bag of diamonds in your desk. So that's but the thing is though, it would fund 30 years of legitimate. And then the rich guys, it's not like Madoff or anything like that, because the rich guys who were giving the money never intended to see that money again. So it's not like, you asked them to invest in something and then absconded with the investment. They were just they were sending money to where they would never see it again. So that was the lootable not-for-profit. And that concept of the lootable not-for-profit, believe it or not, led to this idea of the global retirement account. So I'll get into that in the next video.